Many, many Canadians are concerned about the future of Canadian society. And now the government has decided unilaterally to bring in 5,000 Gazans. How is that going to impact Canada? Well, I'm going to put that question to Sabrina Maddeaux, who is a noted political columnist, really sharp person about politics. But before then, speaking of politics and media, please donate and subscribe to keep this on the air. Now, Sabrina, you heard the intro. There is no debate in my mind, or that I ever saw, about the 5,000 Gazans. And most people know, and this could be a terrible generalization, that so many Gazans are brought up from the age of 1 to hate Jews. I saw an interview the other day with a civilian Gazan who said, she's a smart looking woman. She said, I've been taught to kill Jews. That's my job. What are we doing bringing that kind of force into Canada?
I think there's a real concern that there is a lot of radicalization within the population and a lot of links, obviously, to Hamas, which is a terrorist organization and which perpetrated the horrific October 7th massacre. And Canadians are rightfully worried that we are not properly screening people coming in. And this is an obvious issue in Gaza where there are increased security concerns, but it's an issue overall. We just had a very high-profile case where two alleged terrorists were caught in Richmond Hill in the middle of a terrorist plot, and they were allowed into the country after one of them had actually filmed ISIS propaganda and violent acts. And not only was he allowed in, he was granted citizenship.
This is not somebody who slipped through and didn't have a history. I mean, as
video.
Dominic LeBlanc said, this one unfortunately slipped through, but I mean, we aren't researching this. But I mean, that changes society, Canadian society, with demonstrations in the last year. And the intimidation of businesses run by Jews. I mean, it's changing radically. Why would the government add to that change?
Again, I think that they are trying to have their cake and eat it too, that there's a certain element of the Liberal base who really wants to see measures like this. But unfortunately, the government has not proven any capacity to actually screen immigrants or refugees coming through. And we're seeing people with terrorist links, right? We're seeing people who are terrorist sympathizers. We're seeing other issues as well, where we're seeing agents of foreign authoritarian states, links to transnational gangs. The point is that we're letting in a lot of terrorists and criminals, and we don't know how many or where they are. And once they're here, we seem to have no ability to kick them out.
Well, witness of 2 Chinese spies in the labs in Winnipeg. And the government knew about them for years and years, and then when there's an uproar, let them out of the country, as opposed to the assistant to the New York governor, who was arrested the other day. As soon as they found out, boom.
Absolutely.
I mean, they're charged.
Yeah, I was just reading that news story before I came. I mean, and there was a woman in Markham who went missing and was murdered, and now her alleged killer has fled the country, and I believe the line in the news was, we have no idea where he went after Hong Kong. So how does this keep happening? And this isn't an isolated incident. It's something that's on repeat. And obviously, in addition to the public safety issues and the national security issues, it's really going to further undermine the public's confidence in any sort of immigration or refugees in general, and that's a dangerous thing overall.
You put your finger on undermine public confidence. Sabrina, to the point, thanks very much.
Thank you.
To those of you who have subscribed and donated, a heartfelt thank you. You're keeping us on the air. If you're watching and you haven't, please try to do so, because 4 years ago we started this show because there needed to be independent analysis. Now more than ever, with the Online Harms Act, once that gets into law, it's been passed once by the House, there are going to be hundreds of bureaucrats censoring the news in Canada, censoring this show. We need to keep it on the air. Thanks for your support.